from America's heartland, this is GJRB, Clinton, Iowa. The following is a GJRB podcast presentation.
And now, another GJRB Schedule update. Here he is, Gary J. Russell.
Hello everyone, hello everywhere around the world, wherever you're listening to this weekend, to the GJRB Schedule Update Podcast. This is a Schedule Update Podcast in review of a revision which had to be made in regards to the last one, which was uploaded back about 2 weeks ago on August 13th. Some things have changed since then. As a result, I had to re-record a new GJRB podcast update. This is a revision, canceling out the original scheduled podcast, which I say was August 13th. Things have changed. Circumstances have been changed since then, which jumped at me and said this has to be brought to your attention, causing me to do making a decision to go on a early hiatus, which I'll be talking about here in just a little bit in this update. One of the reasons is I believe that also I decided that it would be a permanent hiatus every September from here on in. There's going to be 2 months in the GJRB schedule in which we'll go on hiatus except for the following programs. And that would include the Gary Russell program, which will continue to broadcast way out there. I got a combination show coming up next Friday, which will be this coming Friday, which will be the 26th on our GJRB TV YouTube channel. That's going to be the combined Gary Russell program way out there YouTube show. That's going to be on Friday, August 26th at 2 o'clock Central, tentatively here on GJRB Online. The other shows, such as Bluegrass Jubilee, Gary J's Blues House, and Radioland, are all going to be rescheduled for a make-up dates during the fall season programming. Okay, so that'll be around October when we start that. All our fall programs will always start in October. And I will announce the air dates on those as soon as I put together the next GJRB Schedule Update podcast, which will be uploaded next month. That will be recorded later on next month, and that will be for the covering of the October-November schedule. And I'll have that announced for you as well. This will be seen as a screen share using the audio track from the podcast, from this podcast you're listening to, which will be produced and recorded as a easy video, which will be uploaded on the GJRB TV YouTube channel. The previous podcast of this program has already been deleted from Spreaker, and will also be deleted from the GJRB TV YouTube channel upon the upload of this one and the video for it as well. I will be deleting the old one because the information again has changed. So there's a lot of things that are going to be changed as well, and I'll give you that. I'll give you all that information coming up in this podcast, and I'll let you know how that's all going to go. Now, the reason, like I said before, for these changes is because there's a lot of different things going on our GJRB schedule, circumstances, like I said before, regarding some things that were brought to my attention, such as my SUV, which needs to be fixed, and I've had some people coming over for that, resulting into, what day that I'll have to either cancel a program or push it around, and sometimes I don't like to do that. So I decided, why don't I just end the season right now, go into a hiatus, and start in the middle of August. From the middle of August clear through to October, we're going to be on a limited program schedule. So the Gary Russin program, way out there. The last 7 days, all other church podcasts will go up, as usual, every other weekend. Gary J's Sports Page, those are my 4 talk shows. Gary Russin program, Gary J's Sports Page, way out there, those programs. And, of course, those 3 talk shows, plus my music show, Gary J in the Afternoon, which has already had been pushed around on the schedule as it was. I had pulled that show at least now almost 3 times. So I decided what I'm going to do here is change the programming schedule altogether, dump everything, and just clean the slate, so to speak. And so I decided to make September, this half of August, which starts on the last 2 weeks of August, which started on August 15th, going clear through to the end of August. I decided to clean that slate completely and delete all the programs scheduled on it and go completely hiatus with maybe, like I said, the 4 talk shows or the 3, Gary J's Sports Page, the Way Out There show, and Gary J in the Afternoon, which is the music show, and of course Gary Russin program will all remain on the air, scheduled and spaced out accordingly with the GJRB on Spreaker, being the fact that the programs all occupy a lot of space, being there 3 to 5 hours, 3 hours mostly, and I only have 5 hours on the Spreaker public site. So I decided to make every other weekend a podcast weekend, with every other weekend a live weekend. And I'm going to be doing that starting this week. Today I'm recording this on the 23rd of August. It was originally scheduled a oldie show on my 9-foot signal. I pulled that as well. Decided to work only on the Gary Russin program, which will air on the 26th. You're listening to this podcast now on a Saturday, a Friday night or Saturday. You've already heard it. But we're going to look at the Gary Russin program, which is going to be the midweek semi-freestyle edition. That program is going to be on the air live this Wednesday coming up, the 31st, right here on GJRB, here on Spreaker. And we're going to be on the air live with that Gary Russin program. So you're going to want to tune in for that. It's a semi-freestyle show. And, that means that on the second hour between 3 and 3:15, we do Gary J's News and Comment. But Gary J's News and Comment continues throughout the program. But for now, like I said before, this program is to update and a revised schedule update due to these changes. And I decided that permanently September, mid-August, from August 15th to the 31st, through September is going to be hiatus other than the 4 programs that we're down on. So we're down 4 programs that we're only going to broadcast throughout the month, and that's all. And then in October, we'll start our regular program schedule, and I'll be recording another podcast update with the new schedule announced for October through the end of the year. So that podcast will be uploaded next month. I'll be writing and producing that podcast, and I'll have that uploaded next month here on GJRB. I'll give you the schedule as of now and how that's all going to work and what is going to be tentatively scheduled for September coming up in our next segment here on GJRB Online. And like I said before, I decided that September, mid-August, September is going to be a hiatus month. And then in January, that'll also be a hiatus month. Now, this is going to be half month, full month now. In January, it will be backwards. It will be full month, half month. So in other words, a month and a half off the air in January through to mid-February 2017. We're going to be down to 4 shows like now as I produce the spring programming schedule. I'll be looking at the spring-summer programming schedule for 2017. And now that's way in the future for right now, and we really don't know what's going to happen at this point. So basically that's what it's going to be. And like I said before, I'm kind of happy with this idea, which I had already done before. But the problem was in that situation is that I started broadcasting and really didn't have an organized schedule. So I decided, why don't I just do it this way? Half-month schedule, where every so many months we go on a hiatus where there's only 4 programs on the air, and that's all. I mean, really makes a lot of sense, and it gives me a chance to, refresh our programming schedule and, get everything together, and do it that way. So that's what I'm doing. And it's like I really wanted to do it this way anyhow, because it gives me a full month to get all the programs scheduled for the month, and get them all produced, get them all written. I'm already midway through my swing time show, and I'm already working on the next one for next year, and that there's only 2 or 3 swing times a year on this station, and with reruns, of course, making it so that I always have more shows more often on the air. Some of the programs are going to be new shows for the fall. We're going to talk about those next, and a whole lot more as I return for the GJRB Schedule Update podcast continues on GJRB. You hear great jazz on GJRB with the best of jazz, up-and-coming jazz, smooth jazz, and smooth afternoon. If you can't get enough of jazz and you live in the Quad Cities area, tune in to KALA, St. Ambrose University in Davenport, Iowa, at 88.5 on the FM dial. Along with some of that great smooth jazz, you'll hear a lot of great jazz programming, and programming in other great music formats, like blues, urban, including rap, also classic R&B and Motown with David Baker on Rewind, Friday nights at 6 p.m. Central. In addition, you get programming in Spanish and some great gospel programming too. For more information on that great programming you'll hear, check out their schedule at www.sau.edu/KALA. Even if you don't live in the Quad Cities area, you can enjoy KALA anywhere in the world with their internet stream. Connect with KALA, listen, and enjoy. Strange things in the sky and around the world. Strange beings sighted. What's going on? All around us, conspiracy theories are being discussed. This is the show all about the strange things that are way out there. I'm Gary Russ, and this Way Out There's back with more weird stories of the strange and the bizarre. Keep looking up in the sky and let me know what you see way out there. Every third Friday at 2 o'clock Central on GJRB. After 1 year, the wait is over. Now join Pastor Ron Johnston and a panel of men and women to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy. In this world of chaos and upheaval, this is the program that puts it all into perspective. How will we survive? God only knows. So trust Him and listen to the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast or live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB Online. GJRB in 2016. Still the What's Happening sound. All right, we're back. This is the GJRB Schedule Update Podcast here on GJRB, giving you a rundown of our program schedule for